Hi, my name is Augustine, and I am here to tell you a story about how I reconciled with my long-lost childhood friend, Cairo. It was the summer break holiday season of 2016. Everyone was excited, likewise. No matter how old, no matter how young, no one can resist the spirit of the season. This time of the year used to be a time that brought people together. Enemies became friends. Long-lost relatives would return home during this time. Some cultures celebrate religious holidays like Christmas, Diwali, and so forth. It was the 15th of December in the year 2016. My childhood friend, Cairo, had come back home. He called me in the early hours of the morning to tell me that he had just arrived. I was surprised and shocked because I did not know where he got my number. He told me that he was coming to pick me up at noon for his homecoming pre-party. I jumped out of my bed, leaving the phone unhung. I was very excited, I couldn't help myself. I screamed out loud from my bedroom. My father rushed into my room to check if there was no intruder in my room. My younger brother jumped to the rescue and made Dad realize that it was a scream of joy. He had absolutely nothing to worry about. And he was right. After all, my younger brother says we understood me better than everyone else in the family. Cairo cleared his throat over the phone. My father overheard his masculine voice and asked me to pass the phone. It's Cairo, Dad, I explained. You mean the Cairo that used to live next door? He asked and proceeded by saying that boy was always late for school. Yes, Dad, my long-lost childhood friend has finally come back home, I said, full of excitement. Oh, okay, he said. How are you doing, young man? And what have you done to my daughter? He asked Cairo over the phone. I'm doing pretty well, sir. I was just letting Augustine know that I have come back home and tomorrow I will be celebrating my homecoming party in the neighborhood. And I would really love Augustine to join me for the pre-party scheduled for today and the main event tomorrow, Cairo responded. Well, that's short notice and my daughter does not attend parties of any kind. I'm afraid that will not be possible, Dad said. But Dad, I said in disappointment. No, you're not going to that party. You're not going anywhere with that boy, not if I can help it, he said. Now make your bed and open up the windows. You have no idea what kind of life that boy has been living out of your sight, and I don't ever want to see you anywhere near him. Is that clear? End of discussion, he added as he threw the phone away and exited the room. I slowly picked the phone up to tell Cairo to never mind my dad. To my surprise, he had long hung up. I put the phone away, tidied the room. I was disappointed, but maybe Dad was right. Maybe I didn't deserve to have fun. I was young and naive. I didn't know any better. After a few hours, my mother walked in to tell me that breakfast was ready. It didn't take her very long to realize the misery in my eyes. She sat me down and told me that she had spoken to Dad. He agreed to let you go, but under one condition, she said. You must do all your household chores and clean up the interior of his car, she added. But that's too, I complained. I know, she smiled and brushed my head. Thanks, Mom. You're a lifesaver, I exclaimed in joy. I know, now go get your breakfast before it gets cold. Your father has a business meeting at 2 p.m., so his car better be clean by then, she said. We hugged and I joined the family for our daily morning meal. I fulfilled all my household duties as per my father's request. I then texted Cairo to let him know that Dad had finally agreed to let me go out with him. He was delighted. I took a bath, put my makeup on, got dressed, and texted Cairo to let him know that his bride was ready, not in so many words of course. After a few minutes, I heard a soft car hoot from the curbside just outside the house. I looked through the window, It was Cairo in a silver-gray Mercedes-Benz C-Class. Wow! My whole family went outside to witness Cairo as he got out of this beast of a car. I grabbed my purse and passed through in between Mom and Dad, rushing off to hug Cairo, full of bliss and excitement. He was punctual for someone who always showed up late for school. Anyway, as I was rushing to hug him, with his manly arms open wide, I lost sight of everything. I felt like I was running in slow motion. I was over the moon. I know I should have excused myself properly from my family, but at that moment nothing else made sense to me. Finally, I landed on his arms and the whole world stopped for a while. Sadly, all good things must come to an end. Take good care of my daughter. In fact, bring her back before 6 p.m. young man, Dad shouted. I sure will, sir. Thank you for trusting me with her, responded Cairo. Now, you kids go and have fun. Enjoy responsibly, Mom ordered. Thanks, Mom, I said. After that exchange of words, Cairo opened the door for me. I was so happy and excited. We had a fun chat. We caught up and reminisced about good old times. As I found out, the boy was making waves in the entertainment industry. That explained his style and the car he drove. I felt comfortable in his presence. I felt a sense of completeness, as if I had found a part of me that was lost and forgotten. Finally, we arrived. The party was full of all the glit and glam you can only dream of. Picture conquer on steroids. Everyone had their plus ones with them. He had brought his friends from overseas. His pre-party was flocked with celebrities, the likes of MT, Nasty C, Saudi and Aries, to mention just a few. And I guess I was his plus one. I was on cloud 9 knowing that, of all the girls he could have picked, he picked me. He introduced me to his friends, and we then went to our table for two, already prepared for us. As we were dining, Cairo stood up and requested the DJ to soften the music because he would like to propose a toast to someone special. The DJ switched off the music and everyone stood in amazement. They had so much respect for the guy. He was the star of the show after all. He then kneeled in front of me, reached for something in his breast pocket. Oh my God! It was an engagement ring. He then asked me in front of everyone at the party if I would like to be his wife. I was overcome with excitement, and I shouted, yes. Yes. Of course, yes. Everyone applauded us. The DJ began playing slow jam songs and Cairo asked me to join him on the dance floor. Of course, I did. While everyone was happy for us, one person wasn't, and that person was Cairo's ex-girlfriend's brother, Chris, who also happened to be there at the time of the proposal. He rushed off to our dancing spot and caused a scene. I see the game you're playing. First, it was my sister. Now that you're done with her, you're moving on to your next victim. Are you going to promise never to leave her too, the same way you did to my sister and then disappeared? He asked furiously. Cairo's friends quickly grabbed him before he could make a move and escorted him outside. Good luck on your perfect little honeymoon, he shouted outside. I was frightened. Cairo tried to comfort me. Well, just in case you're wondering, I had long broken up with Angela when me and my parents moved to Lagos. I broke up with her because she started taking crack, he said. And I've never imagined myself dating a crackhead. So, that explains it, he added. I know, I said. When I looked at the time, it was 5:30 p.m. sharp, so I asked Cairo to take me back to my place before Dad started worrying. But the party has just begun, he complained. I just want to get out of this place before things get worse, I resisted. He finally agreed to drive me back home. He was a bit tipsy, but he could handle himself. On our way back home, He attempted to stop the car so that he could take a pee by the side of the road. The brakes malfunctioned. I shivered in panic. I began to worry about what my father would say if he found out that his daughter was involved in a car accident with a boy he had never approved of in the first place. Cairo steered the car off-road to slow it down. The car began to tremble. I closed my eyes and prayed. Finally, we hit an obstacle. It was a dead tree good enough to bring the car to a halt. Fortunately, the Mercedes had world-class airbags. We made it out alive with minor cuts and a few bruises. However, the car was completely wrecked, but luckily, my fiancé paid his car insurance installments on time. He quickly called for help and requested an Uber for me to take me home before the designated 6 p.m. time. It was an overwhelming experience I will love to tell my kids and grandchildren someday. If there was any lesson I drew from this is that you must always listen to your parents. Obey them because they know what is best for you. I was lucky to have made it out alive, otherwise I could have died or regretted going against my parents' wishes. Oh, and another thing, do not get too comfortable too quick with someone you have not seen for years. Thank you.